Nature unfolded in a surprising way at the Vatican Sunday. Just after Pope Francis spoke in St. Peter's Square, children released 2 white doves as a symbol of peace. The peace didn't last long. A black crow and a seagull went after the doves in front of the crowd. The birds managed to escape after only losing a few feathers.
That is so unusual.
It is.
It's very unusual. Little piece of trivia for you from our...
Pope Francis is the spiritual leader of more than 1.4 billion Catholics. Around the world, many of them are looking to Rome, waiting for updates on the Pope's condition.
Tell us the latest of what you're hearing.
It's serious. To put it into a word, the condition of the Pope at the moment is serious.
And to St. Peter's Basilica. But overall, this is someone we're talking about who is not only such a figure for people in Italy, but he is a figure for the entire globe. He is not only just the leader of the Catholic Church, but really represents the leader of Christianity and has also been involved in so many different causes. So he is someone who people feel connected to. He is a very popular Pope.
Oh, Wick, good morning. The late word from the Vatican is that Pope Francis slept peacefully overnight, but this new statement does not indicate that there's been any change in his condition from yesterday when the Vatican said that he continues to be in a critical condition. We know that the Pope suffered an asthma attack yesterday and required extensive oxygen treatment. He also underwent a blood transfusion to increase the level of red blood cells and platelets in his system. Doctors say his prognosis is reserved.
But it's been very touch and go for Pope Francis over the last couple of days. How's the mood like on the ground out there? Are people hopeful? Are they worried?
And yeah, you're right, Andrew. We have not been able to go to Vatican City. When we landed, we came straight here to the hospital before going to Vatican City. But as we've mentioned before, it is the Jubilee. It's a holy year. So there are lots of things going on in Vatican City.
Pope Francis was admitted to Rome's Gemelli Hospital on February 14th. He has since been diagnosed with pneumonia in both lungs, along with bacterial, viral, and fungal infections, on top of his chronic bronchitis. Outside the hospital, dozens gathered to pray.
We are here for him too, because we are faithful, but he always asks us to pray for him too, and we are here for that, and we hope he will come home soon.
Just all of those people wanting to send their prayers and best wishes to the Pope. There is a statue, you can't see it from here, but there's a statue of Pope John Paul II right outside the main entrance of Gemelli Hospital. That is because Pope John Paul II was treated at this hospital in 1981 when he was shot in that assassination attempt. So his statue is here, and that is where people are going. They're leaving flowers, candles, sending prayers, and just really giving those best wishes as they all wait to see what happens with Pope Francis.
In his native Argentina, the Pope's portrait is projected in the capital's famous obelisk with a message that reads, "Francis, the city is praying for you." In recent weeks, Pope Francis has struggled to speak for long periods, asking his aides to step in and take over.
Adesso mi scuso un po' e chiedo al maestro di continuare la lettura per difficoltà nel respiro.
He's prone to respiratory infections because part of his lung was removed when he was 21 years old.
We are not yet ready for him to pass away. We're praying for his recovery so he can live longer and continue serving the Catholics in the world.
You have to remember that this really has flared up just over the past weekend. The Pope was hospitalized 10 days ago. I actually met the Pope, would you believe, 2 days before he went into hospital, and I had a few moments to speak to the Holy Father. And while he was in good spirits and he was in good form, you could tell that he was laboring his breath. He was finding it difficult to breathe. He looked unwell. So he was hospitalized. They said that his flu had become bronchitis. Bronchitis then was pneumonia in both lungs. And remember, Pope Francis knocking on the door of 90. He's 88 years of age, already with a compromised condition in that he has part of his right lung removed from a bout of pneumonia when he was a young man in Buenos Aires. And then adding some extra weight over the past couple of years because he's been in a wheelchair. All of these things together is a very concerning set of circumstances. But actually, you know, the interesting thing was...
He always calls on us, the faithful, to pray for him, and we're here for him. We hope that he will come home soon.
Around the world, Catholics are worried about the pontiff, the first Latin American pope to lead the Catholic Church.
look, we got to be kind of realistic as he is. When you get double pneumonia in anybody, you're worried. If a child gets double pneumonia, when you got double pneumonia in an 88-year-old man who's only got 75% of his lung capacity and who's struggling with arthritis and a bunch of stuff, it's not looking good. I admire his grit. I admire his resilience. I'm praying with him and for him. But I think we have to be realistic, as he certainly is.
What about that, Doc?
I love Carlo Dolan. I've interviewed him for my Miracles book. He's really smart medically, and he's right about a bunch of things here. First of all, he doesn't have lung reserve because he lost a piece of his lung. Secondly, he's 88. Thirdly, he had pneumonia last year and he was in the hospital. So this is a recurrent pneumonia that's occurring on scarring, on top of scarring. And he had another surgery on the bowel. He's got a lot of medical issues, but I would differ from the Cardinal in one respect.
You know, the interesting thing was that on Friday evening, the doctors, the personal doctors of the Pope, they held a press conference in the foyer of the Gemelli Hospital. And dare I say it, there were light moments in that press conference. In fact, his doctor joked at one stage saying, when I go in the morning and I say, "Good morning, Holy Father," he responds, "Good morning, Holy Son." So we got a sense that although things might have been serious, they were calming down. But when you compare that to the statement that the Vatican put out yesterday, Saturday, saying that he was in a critical condition, the first time they used the word critical, officially, the Vatican, saying that he had a prolonged asthmatic crisis, needing high-flow oxygen. They also said that he was running low in red blood cells and so had to get a blood transfusion. And they said that he was in more pain than he was in previous days. So things took a bad turn over the weekend, it seems.
As a matter of fact, this morning, Pope Francis posting this statement on X. In it, he said, thanks to those who have sent messages and prayers toward him, saying he has been, quote, particularly struck by the letters and drawings from children. He goes on to say, quote, thank you for your closeness and for the consoling prayers I have received from all over the world. And we have been able to witness.
The pontiff is in critical condition after reportedly suffering a respiratory crisis yesterday. However, the Vatican is now reporting that the Pope rested peacefully overnight and that he continues to be alert.
The 88-year-old is being treated for severe pneumonia and bronchitis that's required oxygen at very high levels, even several blood transfusions to treat anemia.
He's confidently continuing treatment at Gemelli Hospital, and he thanked the team of doctors, adding that rest is part of his therapy. Now, in a sign that he is still working, the Pope acknowledged that tomorrow marks the third anniversary of the war in Ukraine, a situation, he said, that is a shameful occasion for the whole of humanity. It is unclear when the Pope might be released from the hospital.
But at least what we were able to see when we saw people placing those flowers by that statue, they were very quiet. It almost felt disrespectful for us to even ask them their feelings because you could just tell they were being reflective and really sending those thoughts and prayers. So something that the whole world is watching and monitoring, and for good reason. So we will definitely be getting that update later on tonight here in Rome.